Hello Eurovision friends, thank you so much for coming to my channel, Eurovision Histories. Yesterday, San Marino chose their entry for Eurovision 2024, and there were two artists that I really like from previous selections. One of them was Loredana Bertè. She came second. I'm a bit heartbroken that she didn't make it to Eurovision because I really like her and I like the song. However, my second favorite was Megara, who were, I think, my favorites in last year's Benidorm, at least before the performance, because I really liked their song Arcadia, and now they get to represent San Marino with the song Once Once. I think that's how you say it. And quite interesting that Nebulosa, who participated in Una Voce per San Marino last year, are now representing Spain after winning Benidorm, and Megara, who didn't win Benidorm last year, now won Una Voce per San Marino and get to represent San Marino. Interesting story. Now, in this video, I will be looking at different aspects of the song and performance, giving points from 1 to 5, and then we'll have an overall rating. I will also give you my prediction on whether San Marino will be able to qualify with this song, and then we'll also look at your votes and comments from the community tab of my channel. If you want to participate in that, you gotta subscribe. Now, the first aspect I want to talk about are the lyrics of the song, and there is the intended meaning of the lyrics, but then there's also a bit of a meta development, which, if you know me, I quite like. So let's look at the lyrics. She sings, "My heart is broken, but it's something ironic, nothing romantic, a wound between us two." So we are talking about a broken heart, but it's not because of a romance that failed, it's about something else. So who are these two that there's a wound between? So they have said in interviews that it is about them and their relationship to the rock music scene in Spain, because people from that scene have told them that they're not pure enough, that they're not making real rock music. And so the song is kind of about that. And if you look at the next lyrics, that makes sense as well. You want to be a ferocious wolf, like a real rock star in a way, and you're the pathetic secondary harm, okay? You think you can drag me down by criticizing me for not being a real rock artist, but we lit up Benidorm, you say it's illogical. And then they also say you'll be able to jump the whole night to our music, because if you don't want me, other people will. If you, the rock fans, don't want me, we're gonna go to Benidorm and the Euro fans will embrace us, which happened last year because lots of people loved Arcadia, of course. However, the meta development of all of this is because if you don't want me, other people will. They submitted this song to Benidorm and Benidorm rejected them. And so you can also read it in this meta way of, well, if you don't want us, we're going to go somewhere else and other people will want us. And of course, that has come true because they have won the San Marinese national final. They have said that the song wasn't written intended to kind of denigrate Benidorm and telling them off in a way, but I do like that you can read it in that way as well. And now they are going to Eurovision anyway for San Marino. So because I like the lyrics, I'm giving 4 out of 5 points for the lyrics. Now the voice, I do like her vocal tone. That is why it is one of my favorites from last year. And I do like the vocal tone here as well. Some people say that it's not really a rock voice, but I do think that it adds a nice layer to the song. However, during the performance, the sound mixing wasn't good. And there was a lot of breath control issues, I think, and sometimes the microphone wasn't really next to her mouth enough. That might have to do with the smaller stage in the San Marinese national final, and it might glow up and be much better at Eurovision. But for the moment, I wasn't as impressed. It sounded a bit flat at times, and so I'm giving 2.5 points for the voice. The performance, they are obviously very energetic, especially the lead singer. However, it all seems a bit, and they also, as artists, have a concept, of course. They always have the pink and black contrast in their performances, and that's nice. However, I think the performance was just a bit chaotic, so you cannot really feel her energy enough because the camera isn't on her. There's too much happening in a way to really focus on the artist and on her energy and her feeling the song. And so I decided to give 3 out of 5 points. And the same is kind of true for the staging. I think there are lots of good ideas in there with the cuffed rabbits in pink And then you have the dancing skeletons. That's also a nice visual. And it all kind of works in different parts of the song, but it doesn't come together as a whole performance. It seems very, very chaotic, frantic. You don't really know what they are trying to tell you with the different elements of this performance. And that's a bit of a problem. I think they should get like a professional choreographer that can help them put this all together. They have all of the good ideas, but you have to kind of put it together into a good performance and a good staging. And so in the end, I'm giving 3 out of 5 because the ideas are there, but the execution is a bit chaotic. Then for the song, I've said that I love Arcadia, and this song is not as good, but I'm comparing to the other songs in this year's Eurovision, not to Arcadia, of course. I just think there is something missing that really is like a hook or a real discernible melody. I listened to the song a few times now, and I cannot quite remember it. The part that I like the most is this break that happens after about 2 minutes, and you have the flamenco music a little bit. That adds a nice touch to it. I do like the energy as well, and this might be a song that grows on me the more I listen to it. But after the first few listens, I'm just not into it enough to give it more than 2 points, unfortunately. And so the song counts 3 times, the staging twice, and that gives us 2 3/4 points for Megara and Once Once. And Once Once is also in mythology the time 11:11 where important events occur. Maybe they mean when they stepped on the Benidorm stage. That is my personal subjective opinion, but before giving you my objective prediction for San Marino, please subscribe to this channel. I do ratings of most of the songs, I do lyric interpretations, lots of stuff to discover, so please subscribe. And my prediction for San Marino, this is actually a hard one, I think. Let's look at the qualification rate over the last 10 years. And of course, San Marino has a bit of trouble to qualify. They have only made it 3 times in the last 10 years. And the last time they qualified was in 2021 with Adrenalina, which didn't do as well in the final as I thought it would. So San Marino being a microstate and not having many neighbors, 1 neighbor to be honest, is struggling sometimes to qualify, and we have to keep that in mind. And then when we look at semifinal 2, which San Marino is performing in, they are in the second half, which is good, but they are quite close to Norway, which is also a female-led rock song. It's folk rock, it's different, but still that might hurt it a little bit. It's good that it's in the second half. And people have been telling me that I am predicting everyone to qualify. That's not true. In this semi, I am predicting Czechia not to qualify. I think Denmark, I predicted them to qualify, but now I'm kind of thinking that they might struggle. I predicted Malta to struggle a little bit. And I also think that Albania, because they are changing the song into English, which I think is a mistake, might also have a problem qualifying. And so that's already 4 countries that are kind of borderline, and we only have 5 or 6 that won't make it to the final. And so in the end, I think San Marino has a bit of a chance to make it this time. And they also have Spain voting in the semifinal, so I guess that they will get 10 or 12 points from Spain, which will help push it maybe above the threshold. And so in the end, I'm not sure, to be honest, but I am predicting that San Marino will qualify, but it will be very borderline. So my prediction for the semifinal, as you can see, is 8-12. So there's a good chance that they might not make it in the end. And then in the final, I think the way the performance looks at the moment, I don't think it will do much more than 15-20, unfortunately, because I do think that Megara deserves a better result. But I'm also kind of sad that they are going to Eurovision with this song. Maybe they should have waited a year, have a better song, and try to enter Benidorm again, because I do think that they have everything you kind of need to win Eurovision in there if you get the best song and also great staging. But I don't think Once Once is a Eurovision winner or even a song that does particularly well at Eurovision, unfortunately. That is my prediction, and now let's look at your votes from the community tab of my channel. 13% of you gave this 5 stars, 23% 4 stars, 39% the majority 3 stars, 18% 2 stars, and 8% 1 star. So I guess you kind of like this song a little bit more than I do. And I also have some of your comments. Dorable says, firstly, this is such a glow up from last year. Definitely true. San Marino will not get 0 points again. That's important. I guess they'll get some points at least from Spain. Nebulosa and Megara at Eurovision together is one of the biggest surprises ever. They are talented and Spanish rock is underrated, so go ahead. And Anna Kobuk also says something similar. I really appreciate the San Marino-Spain music exchange this year. I do too. And then Tage Holmquist says it's got a bunch of good ideas and it'll definitely find a niche. However, it's a bit messy. I couldn't really pick out a hook, and the staging felt very unfocused, like there was a checklist. Yeah, hook missing, and the staging is a bit chaotic. Completely agree with that, but they can work on that, at least the staging. JTB says, not my taste, and I had a couple of comments that said that. And then Chilalachi says, maybe a bit too flat noise in comparison with Ireland's diverse noise, for example, but happy to have another female-led rock. The other is Norway in Eurovision. Costa says, the performance needs some work to feel more professional, but Megara were confident and energetic on stage. They will definitely stand out considering they are the only band in participation along with Gote. That's actually a good point that Costas makes. And then Emizel Cake says, been a fan of Megara since last year. They were my #1 in Benidorm Fest, so gonna support them regardless. Once isn't really as strong as Arcadia, I agree with that, but it's still great. I love the breakdown. It's gonna sit solidly in my top 10 the whole season. Okay, Amber Isabel says, for me it's really cool, the vocals are amazing, and it has a lot of punch and potential in staging. True, lots of potential. This might be able to scrape San Marino into the final for once due to rock not being the preferred genre in the contest this year. And then Stonebrook says, the sound mixing and camera work weren't great, so I don't really know how to judge this fairly. I think in Malmö this will have a massive glow up, and I do like the song, but for now 3 stars. It's always good to have a rock band at Eurovision, so I'm happy they won. I think that's a good comment to end the video with. Possibilities of glow up and lots of potential in the staging is kind of the summary I would give for this song. Let me know in the comment section of this video how you would rate the entry, how you think San Marino will do at Eurovision, and then subscribe to this channel if you want more videos like this one, and then I'll see you for my next one. See you then, and bye bye.